Greetings, friends, and welcome to Beast Foundry. My name is Christian, and as usual, I will be your guide today. Now, on today's video, we're going to discuss something I got a request to do, and that is about making characters more interesting and how to create a character that kind of maybe stands out from other characters. Now, my favorite way to do this is to actually have a theme for the character. It could be all kinds of things, and it doesn't have to be complicated either. Maybe you saw a picture somewhere and you thought, I want to play a character like that, and you've modeled your character completely after this picture. Could have been a character from a video game, could have been a character from a TV show that you like. There are all kinds of options. Supernatural, you could play a thaumaturge. The characters from that show lend themselves very well to doing stuff like that, and you could have a ton of fun. The previous video we did not too long ago for developing a good backstory and integrating your backstory into who your character currently is always a fantastic way to make sure you are keeping your character relevant and engaging. Something that makes your character really stand out with the people you play with and memorable is having small things that your character is interested in and keeping those at the forefront. You know, maybe they had some tragic thing happen to them in their past life, and they always keep an eye out for things like that. They don't want other people to go through the same thing they did or have the same horrible experience that maybe they did. Or maybe they're looking for someone or something. Maybe they're wanting to have a griffin as a pet and they're obsessed with it, and everywhere they go they're trying to find people that might sell griffin eggs or baby griffins or anything that you can do to kind of develop this theme for your character. And maybe your overarching goal is to get a griffin mount that you travel around on. So having these goals is just one of the best ways that you can use this as a vehicle to keep your character separate from other people. And I think one of the things people may end up doing sometimes is achieving their goal too quickly. You know, we've all seen the shows where maybe two characters have a love interest, and by the end of season 1 or season 2, that comes to fruition, and then it's meh. It's nothing after that. And where other shows where they kind of keep it going, it stays interesting longer. So it's all up to you as to what it is that you want to do with the character, and if this is a goal that maybe they should never achieve. That while the character desperately wants this and is always seeking it, you as the player are like, yeah, it's never going to happen. It's just kind of a thing for the character, and if it never happens, it never happens. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a great storytelling device. So small things like that are really awesome to just keep that type of story element going on. You could be looking for a specific weapon. Maybe you want to get accepted into some special magic academy. There are so many things. Maybe you want to have a duel with some super famous swordsman, and you know, the whole Inigo Montoya situation with the Princess Bride. There are so many fun things that you can draw from other experiences, whether they be movies or comic books or novels, TV shows, anything that sparks your imagination that you can kind of add your own spin and make it your own. There's nothing wrong with wanting to get into a wizard academy that is very prestigious, and your character, you know, has been trying for so long, and maybe it's just a very young character. There's a lot of fun opportunity to do things like that. And with the availability to just always make new characters, you don't have to worry about is this idea perfect? Because there's always going to be more ideas, and you yourself, your tastes are going to change as you get older and as you play games longer. So don't worry about some of that stuff too much. Pick something that sounds fun to you and just go with it. You don't have to go crazy overboard with it. Just focus on it and keep in mind you're kind of using it as a tool to actually help other people stay entertained. I think one of the things people often forget is you're playing this game with a bunch of other people, and everyone always looks to the DM to provide the entertainment. This 100% can come from the other players at the table. Some of my favorite moments as a DM have just me sitting back and watching the players roleplay. Not long ago, I had a game like that where I had all of this stuff planned out. It was a 3-hour session, and I kid you not, the players, they just roleplayed for an hour, and it was fun. I loved watching them do it. They were having such a great time, and I wouldn't have traded that for anything. But as players, you have to be prepared and ready to do that. You have to jump in and realize that, it doesn't have to only be the DM that is trying to entertain everyone. So stepping up and even taking that burden off of the DM's shoulders, maybe they need to look up some stuff. Maybe they want to get a couple of things jotted down to get a next encounter ready for you. Giving them a little bit of downtime, but keeping the game going is a great way to accomplish things like that. You will also find that if you have goals for your character, the more engaging you are, the easier it is going to be for your character to get to those goals, because everyone is engaged now with your story just as much as the DMs. And you can even ask the DM if it's okay if you take a little latitude when you're explaining things, or maybe even take a little bit of narrative control during the game to explain some things that have happened. And it's okay to do that. There's nothing wrong with that. If everyone's on board, it can be an absolutely fantastic time for everyone. So don't be afraid to experiment. Don't be afraid to try these things. I see all the time that you get players that are either new or timid, and which is fine. You're always going to have those situations, and I'm not saying everyone has to do this, but recognize everyone in the group. If someone's very timid and very shy, they're never going to want to do that. It's going to make them uncomfortable. But it's okay for you to also include them, minorly so if that's not their thing, but help engage with them a little. And it's okay to push boundaries and try to see if people maybe might have fun trying something new. So you just have to gauge it for yourself and see how the situation is and know the person involved, and if you're being too pushy or that right level of encouragement. Those things are all really fun things that I have experienced that I know really heighten the level of a game. Being on a podcast with people and knowing that everyone is there to entertain. Your game isn't being recorded, it isn't being broadcast, so you don't have to worry about making a mistake. It's okay if something falls flat. It's okay if it doesn't go exactly as you expected it to, but keep trying. It's like everything, it is a muscle that you kind of develop. So if you are constantly trying, it will get easier and easier, and everyone will just have more fun with it. I bet if you go back to some of my first videos and compare it to this one, you're going to see a huge difference in how I act, how my mannerisms are, how I communicate with you, how engaging I am, how animated I am. So all of these things it's just a learning curve by doing it. So you've just got to get out there and have fun. It's just a wonderful time. It's why I got into these games. I love the social interaction with people, and I just like having a good time. So as always, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I just want to remind you all that there is a Beast Foundry Patreon where you can find all kinds of animal companions, equipment. You can find ancestries, you can find archetypes. We are developing our first class, which the playtesting is a lot of fun. In fact, if you want to be part of the playtesting, you're more than welcome. Just come over to the Roll for Intent Discord and hunt me down and say, hey, I want to try the playtest. I'm also always posting on Reddit under the Pathfinder 2e forums, so I'm not a hard person to track down. So if you want to be engaged and help out with any of this, I encourage you. I really enjoy talking to people, and I've already made changes based on the feedback I've got from players just like you. So as always, I just want you to all be aware of what I'm doing, and my goal through all of this is to you kind of create a business and entertain. I want to bring my world to you guys, and every little bit of help that I get from you in the form of even word of mouth, letting people know, is huge and so helpful. And I appreciate all of you so much. So as usual, game well, my friends, and I will see you next time.